Okay, so I'm going to start this video off with Google. You know, the do no evil people. Yeah. Nationwide poll. That's what I put down. Nationwide poll. This is September 8th. And it's about exactly, I think, 2 months. I think no, November 8th is when the elections are. And anyway, nationwide poll. So 2 months, right about now is when I start taking an interest, more of an interest in quote unquote politics, if you will, trying to find out, what's going on. So you Google nationwide poll, and guess what you get here? Okay, this is just Google, boom, that's it. Real clear politics. Okay, I didn't click on this link. I'm not clicking on any link. It talks about approval for Obama Rubio versus Clinton election presidential polls. I'm just looking at the headlines, if you will. The first few words of each link. Nationwide opinion polling for United States, blah, 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 right here. United States, two major party candidates, okay. Then you keep going down. Opinion poll, Republican Party. Nothing too biased here. Nationwide poll for Democrat Party, blah, 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 okay. Who's a Democrat frontrunner? Now, here is where it gets a little. Hey, Google, what are you, part of the mainstream media? National poll. Trump leads in Kansas, but trails nationwide. Let's see how let's see how I feel about that. And what I say by I is I'll explain very very soon. I have my own polling system, and it's nationwide. I'll explain. Okay, going on. Donald Trump edges ahead of Hillary. In other words, like it's the 49-51% BS that they show that, oh, this is a legitimate poll. It's, close to 50-50. And then you keep going down. Interestingly enough, everything is about Clinton. Clinton blows double digit lead. Boom! Blows! Blah! Whoa, that's a CNN poll. I really believe that. Clinton leads over Trump, where Trump shrinks 3 points. I like the word. That word shrinks. Interesting. Clinton leads Trump 15 points. At first, it's 3 points, 15 points. Now, yeah, notice the dates on these, but forget the dates. You Google nationwide poll. This is what you get. This is what you get on the first page. It's like the headlines, like when you read the headlines in a paper. You remember extra read all about it. Headlines show this, but on page 8 it's really the opposite. But anyway, if you keep going, I'm sure the polls get a little bit, or the bias gets a little bit more realistic. So let me show you what I do. Let me show you what I do in my polling system. I work for a part-time cloud-based tech support service company. Well, part-time. That's what I work is part-time. The cloud-based tech support service company is not part-time. Okay, but this is their outreach. Okay, and this, my friend, is the United States of America. And this is their outreach. I don't speak to Alaska. I don't speak to Hawaii. I've never spoken to those two states. Soon to be countries if, secessions, but that's another story. Anyway, so here, I mean, the outreach is incredible. I mean, this is if you had a way of speaking to anyone in any of the states at random, no matter who they are, okay? If you had a job like that would give you pretty good insight as to what the country is thinking, don't you think? Because when you poll a particular person, that usually has a certain percentage or carries a certain percentage of people behind that person. Because that person's not going to think one way. Okay, all the time. In other words, there are people that think alike. Okay, I mean it's a statistical fact. So this is what I do, and I do basically tech support services, mainly internet type services, part time for a cloud based company who subcontracts under a nationwide ISP, internet service provider, whose outreach is this. I'm not going to mention the name, but I could tell you they are a big company, very big company. Okay, keeps me busy. It's a filler job. It's at in the evenings, and I have to say it is fun. Although sometimes it can get very very frustrating. That's the fun part about it too. It is fun. I have to say it is fun, and they don't pay much. I can tell you, but hey, it's my filler job if you know what I mean. And so going on, I speak to about 10 to 15 people a day because I'm part time. Um, and you can see from Key West down way down. I've spoken to people in Key West, which, by the way, tends to lean towards Democratic. Democratic. I've spoken to people in California, up here in Seattle, uh, all the way to Maine. I've spoken to people throughout, and when you speak to these people, basically in this type of job that I have, it's all technical. It's hey, your internet's not working. Okay, I'll get your internet up because it's your internet. It's not the internet. I understand, no problem. So as we talk, and I'm the type of person that bases a relationship with the customer. I tend to do that because I always think of myself on the other side and saying, hey, how would I want to be treated? Do I want to be treated like a robot, like a little cog, or a person? So I treat people like people, just like I'm speaking now. This is the way I speak at quote unquote work. I can say quote unquote because it's just a fun job. Now, I've worked for this company for it's been going on almost 4 years now. Good, solid 3 years going on four. I never thought it would last. I always thought, it's a nice filler job in the evening. I'll tell you what, it keeps me from, climbing the walls. But here's the thing, and I've noticed this phenomenon lately. Now, I've never really went through an election cycle doing this type of job, but this phenomenon started a few months ago. I'll explain what the phenomenon is in a few seconds. And has been getting more intense of late, where about 1 out of 20 customers voiced their political opinion in various ways. And what made me do this video? Well, I spoke to such customer in nowhere else but SFO, San Francisco. Oh my goodness. You want to talk about, I don't know, blue, red, I don't know what kind of state is what. I guess you would call that a blue state. Anyway, it's democratic for the most part. Okay, San Francisco. I mean, very liberal, democratic. I spoke to a lady in San Francisco. And it's not the first time this happened, by the way. But I kind of, just put it aside. But this lady was quite vocal, and I'm getting more and more vocal people, the silent majority, if you will. I hear the silent majority speak out. So basically, I'm taking note, and I've been taking note. For the past few months, the frequency of this type of talk has increased. Now, I'm not supposed to talk about politics, and I don't. I'm very professional on the phone, just like you hear me now. I speak to people just like people, but they can see that I'm not a robot. Okay, I'm not reading from a script. So you get friendly with the person. They start talking. They start, voicing their opinion about certain things in very subtle ways. For example, case in point. Yesterday, lady from San Francisco. I figured San Francisco, whatever. I mean, these people they lean to the left. I mean, they call it the left coast for whatever reason, right? So first thing she says is because basically she was transferred from I think it was India, or I'm not sure because there's so many places that this company uses. Let's just say India or Philippines. Okay, they're always the first level technical support, which sometimes they do their job, sometimes they don't. But anyway, when she got transferred to me, she started saying, you know what, I hate to say this, and I'm sorry, but I just don't understand these people. Their accent, this and blah blah blah. And I understood. I said, yeah, understand what you mean. I mean, yeah, believe it or not, I do have that problem myself sometimes. You know, when they transfer me and they tell me about the problem that the customer's having, so on and so forth. Now, here's the thing. She keeps going on and she says, well, you know, I really wish we had those jobs back in the United States. And I said, well, I'm in the United States, although I'm upper level tech support, higher, what they call higher tier. Usually, when you hand it to me, you hand it to the United States. Maybe because we can do the job better. I don't know, and I'm not trying to be, exceptional, if you know what I mean. But I just find that to be the case with this particular structure that this company has. You know, they use the quote unquote cheaper services for the first level, and then the more expensive services for the second level. Now she goes on and on. Basically, I got the gist that she was not for Hillary. Okay? She's not the only person that I spoke to like that. And the reason how, and I'll tell you why I got that gist later on. But basically, I've been speaking to a lot of people on the phone, and they've all said basically the same thing. You know, not globalist. They've mentioned the fact that they were um, well, basically supporters of a better America, if you will, or a greater America, or jobs in America, and so on and so forth. I mean, they're all there, but when it comes down to it, I always hear, I always hear things that Trump would say coming through them. Things like, um, got to think about exactly what they say, but I get the gist. I get the gist that it's a Trump type thing as opposed to a Clinton type thing. Basically, this lady was very vocal about her opinions, and I said I had to actually ask her. Listen, I am not really not supposed to talk about politics. I'm here to talk to you about to help you out with your internet access. But since you mentioned it, I said I told her I said I can say I am not a globalist, in which I am not. I said that's all I could say though. Okay, so but she kept going on and on. Long story short, I got her, connected. Everything worked well. She thanked me and so forth. At the very end, she goes, "Go Trump." So I couldn't help it. I couldn't help it, and I said, "I'm with you 100%." Does that mean I'm going to vote for Trump? Uh, Between me and you, I mean, there's certain things he says I don't like, especially about certain things about the military and stuff like that, which kind of gets me a little, I don't know, a little scared because he's, the warmongering thing is, I don't like it. I don't like any military warmongering. Just take care of our borders and don't worry about anybody else. But then again, it could mean that I don't know. But I definitely do lean towards Trump. Does that have anything to do with my nationwide poll? One out of 20 people that I talk to, 80% of those, 80% are against the Democratic notion, if you will. So basically, 80% are either for Trump or for, at the time, was Sanders, when this phenomenon started, or for um, Johnson. Okay, some people don't voice who they're speaking of, but I can definitely tell from the tone, from the verbiage used, they are not Clintonites whatsoever. 80%. Look at this map. This is the map of the United States. I speak to every single state here. 1 out of 20 people, and it's actually that number is decreasing. Pretty soon, I'll probably be speaking every other call will probably be, will probably have some type of political leaning, which I have to remind the customer I can't really speak about that. But I look at it and I take note. 80%, my friends, 80%. So Google, what the hell are you doing? Why? What is this? Okay, these are older polls, okay, but why put that in the front? In the forefront, all I did was put down nationwide poll. Let's go back to this. Now, I have one more thing to say about this, okay? You could say, well, you're biased. You don't like Clintons. Well, I don't like the Bushes either. I certainly don't like Obama. These people have failed our country. The last person I could say was fairly decent, not 100%, was Reagan. After him, it went down. It went downhill. So I have not been happy most of my life with the country I live in, with the political class of the country I live in. But, you live, and you do what you need to do, and whatever. But, so yeah, am I biased? No. In a certain sense, I am not. When I speak to people, I'm very corporate, I'm very, unbiased. But I definitely do see a leaning towards, basically towards, not toward, let's just put it this way, a leaning not towards the Clinton side at 80%. Okay? And the only one person, I have to say, I met one out of all these people that I talk to, all these 1 out of 20 that get vocal, one person, I'm able to see the router itself. I'm able to see the network name, wireless network name, password, the whole 9 yards. I have to. That's part of my job. I'm not spying on people. It's just part of my job. And it's part of how I, troubleshoot and so forth. Anyway, I'm able to notice just one person had the network name Hillary. I didn't say anything. I just kept going on. They get the same level of support everybody else does. It's none of my business. It really is not. But then the person on the other side, who was older, said she had to say, "Yeah, my son did that." I said, "What?" He put that name down on the network name. I said, "Did you want me to change it? Are you happy with it?" And she goes, "Oh no, it's okay." That's about the only person, and it was said that way, almost like an apologetic way. I have no leaning, especially when I speak to people. I'm very corporate, very straightforward. I'm good as far as treating people just like people as opposed to cogs. But that's as far as I go. I mean, I don't, show any leanings in either way. I'm there to help them out with their internet connection. So that's my story about that. I have to tell you that my polling system is saying totally different than what you see here and what you see in the lamestream, what I call the radical media. What I call the radical media. Look at that. Clinton surging August 4th, not that long ago, surging 15-point lead. If you don't like poo-poo words, hold your ears on this one. Bullshit. Bull fucking shit. That's all I have to say about that.